stay tuned and let's take a look at this Marvel Legends Avengers Infinity War The Children of Thanos box set. Pow, and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. And if you couldn't tell by this massive box on the table that doesn't even fit in my review station, it is of course the Marvel Legends Avengers Infinity War The Children of Thanos box set. Now this is of course an Amazon exclusive. I'm in the UK, I do not trust Amazon UK with exclusives, especially one which I don't want to miss out on. So I paid a little bit extra to get some import stock from In Demand Toys. So that's where I've got mine, but expect this to ship anytime now from Amazon. Now this set looks glorious, it really does. The blacks, the golds, all the figures in that window box packaging on show. You could display this as it is, but of course I'm going to open these up and review them to their previous counterparts, because yes, we have already got all of these figures before in Marvel Legends form. However, if I have an opportunity to buy more movie accurate representations of these characters from one of my favorite films, then I'm going to pull the trigger, and that's exactly what I did. So no regrets from me. Yes, I already have these figures, but you're not going to hear any complaints. I like that we're getting more movie accurate versions for our displays, and yeah, these look great. So I'm going to try my best to sort of show off this box, and then we'll obviously open it up. So the box looks great. As I said, I'll try and do some movie magic, show you what I can, but I do want to show you the height because, as I said, massive. So this is 19 inches in height. And then if I spin that round, you will see it is about 16 inches in width. And yeah, massive. So let me try and show you the side. So at the top, we get the Avengers logo all smashed up. And then on the sides, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this, but you get Thanos, Proxima Midnight, Ebony Maw on one side. And then on the other side, you get Thanos again, Call Obsidian, and then Corvus Glaive. And again, I'll try and do some movie magic to show them off. But on the back, you get a nice graphic. Again, looks really good. No wave association, but you do get a little bio that reads, "The children of Thanos, powerful and vicious warriors, will stop at nothing to harness the power of the Infinity Stones." And again, you get Avengers Infinity War logo at the bottom with the children of Thanos. So again, this box looks great. You really could keep this on card and display it somewhere, and it would look great. However, as I said, I'm going to open these up, compare them to their previous parts, and yeah, so far, so good. Pow! And here we have the children of Thanos all out of the packaging, aka the Black Order. Now, I don't think they're referred to as the Black Order within the MCU, but at least that's how we know them. And I just wanted to say straight off the bat, these are definitely upgrades to their previous Marvel Legends. Yes, it's frustrating that we have to buy them again, but please remember, Hasbro have to make those figures in advance based off concept art, and then it's the people that make the movie that change the character design, and then it's too late to update the toys. So it is frustrating they have to buy them again, but it's not Hasbro's fault, and at least they have went back around and gave anybody the option to buy these figures again. Remember, you don't have to get these new versions if you're happy with your previous ones. Frustrating, I know, but at least now we have an option to buy these more accurate movie versions of these characters for the shelves, and I am very grateful for it. These are definitely upgrades. I'm looking forward to seeing the main differences between the two when I break it down in a second, but let's just mention the accessories that come with these. So all of them are holding their weaponry, their staffs and whatnot. Proxima Midnight comes with a sword as well, but you can only hold one at a time, but we'll look at that in a minute. Now Thanos comes with the most unique accessories, as he has this sort of half-burnt head, and then obviously this char gold a gauntlet. So maybe you could customize and make your own farmer Thanos if you wanted to make him some sort of outfit, but still, that is the main difference with this Thanos. Like, this is the third time we're getting that version of Thanos. There was a Build-A-Figure, and then in the free pack with Doctor Strange and Iron Man, of course, and now this one as well. So yeah, let's break it down, shall we? And let's start off with the main event. Let's of course start off with Thanos. So let's start off by taking a closer look at Thanos, and he seems pretty happy about that because I can see his little grin on his face there. So I think we're getting this smiling sort of Thanos for the first time. I don't think we had this previously, so that is a new head sculpt. The rest of the figure is the same, just with deco changes. I do think the purple is a slight bit different. Even the blue sort of chest piece for the armor is different. The golds are nice though, and under the lights you will see the pattern shine. I like that we're getting the clicking gauntlet as well. That's the first time we're getting that. So let me zoom in a minute. So there's the gauntlet with all the gems in there, but you can see he's actually clicking, which we hadn't got before. So I like that touch. But other than those two differences, just for now, this figure is the same with a slight deco change. Again, I think the blues and the purples are different. Maybe even the trousers are a little bit different color. Maybe unnoticeable at first, but when we get a comparison, you'll see what I mean. But yes, there's that. So let's swap on his interchangeable parts because that's what makes the difference. Now Thanos isn't smirking, is he? Now he's a bit more grimace. So I like this face sculpt. Definitely shows a bit more battle-hardened Thanos. And if I turn his head a little bit there, you can see all this burnt skin. So I like the sort of paint and the colours they've gone for here. Definitely looks like a burnt up purple Thanos head. So I'm liking that. And it's sort of glossy as well. It shines under the light, but it works. So yeah, much more grimacing, burnt up, battle-hardened Thanos there, which I really like. So if I zoom out a little bit, we can see his arm has those same sort of details on there, and it's actually textured as well. So all this paint is like burnt, melted skin, and it's the same with the gauntlet that's on there as well. That's all char grilled to his arm. The stones are still in there, which I guess is accurate because as soon as he clicked his fingers, the gauntlet went all char grilled on his arm. But maybe for a farmer Thanos, it would have been good to have an option or an interchangeable hand without the gems, so you could maybe create your own farmer Thanos, because all you need to do is get like a sack over the body and you could build a farmer Thanos. But still, for what they're trying to achieve, this looks good, very nice. At least it makes it different to the other Thanoses that we've previously got. None of them had this. There's some chunks out of the gauntlet there, and again on the inside as well, all char grilled, melted, and yeah, it looks very nice. So again, from this side, it's like two-faced Thanos. He's all char grilled up, spinning around, he seems all right, but then he turns to reveal he's all mashed up. So yeah, very nice. So that is the differences between the Thanos and the accessories, but let's do a full comparison with the previous release. So here we have the 3-pack Thanos here, and then obviously this new Children of Thanos box set Thanos here. So as you can see, they are the same figure, just now this guy's got the charred up arm and this guy hasn't. Now the purples are different, and so are the trousers, and so is the blue of the armor on the chest. So I don't know how well it shows off in camera, but I promise you in person, the deco is different. Slightly, but it is different. Let me see if I can zoom in and show you there. So the purples look very close, but there is a slight difference. And then the blues, again, I don't know how well you can see, but this new one is definitely lighter compared to the 3-pack version, if you know what I mean. So there are differences with the purples, I believe, and then the blues of the chest. And then the trousers even are darker on this 3-pack version compared to the previous release. I also want to mention that if you pop off this burnt up gauntlet hand, this gauntlet piece does come off, which reveals like the whole burnt up hand. So maybe there is an option for some customizing there. But yeah, I just wanted to show you that is an option. This does come off. So if you wanted to just have a charred up, burnt Infinity Gauntlet on display, that's an option. So as I mentioned, one of the nice things about this new Thanos is we now get a snapping hand for the gauntlet, which obviously is a very iconic scene within the MCU, so it's best to immortalize it on your shelf. So if I'm going to have this Thanos displayed with all the char-grilled arm, then obviously I don't want this sitting in a box. So I'm going to try and unplug that and put it on the previous release, so we have a snapping Thanos on display. So the wrist piece for the new gauntlet will come off. So let's plug this on there. So there you go, that is definitely possible. I do think the sort of bronze is a slight bit different, but not enough to notice once it's on display. So if you want to actually display your snapping fist gauntlet, then you can plug it on the previous release Thanos. So now you can have a before and after sort of effect. So there's your before Thanos. He snaps his fingers, and then this is unfortunately what happens after to him. But still, it's nice to have those display options. I'll find a place for both. So here we have our other Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure Thanos, where he's in the full armor and the gauntlet. Now, if it was up to me, I would have re-released this guy, but give me a more accurate arm, because Thanos never had this gauntlet at the end end of Endgame. So I would have preferred a Marvel Legends with a sort of power gauntlet or even just an armored Thanos personally. But they didn't. They gave us this guy again. So it missed the mark. Or maybe they will give us this guy again down the line with a more accurate body. We shall see there, but I'm not going to hold my breath for that one. But still, there is our Thanos comparison. I just wanted to see if the interchangeable head that came on this guy originally, which is the sort of little smirk Thanos, this head goes on the armored body. And yes, of course it does. And this actually looks pretty good. And even if the purples don't match, it's broken up by the armor, so you're never going to be able to tell once it's on display. So I do think this head sculpt that came on this new Children of Thanos box set body does work best with this armored Thanos. But if you're like me, where this arm, this gauntlet really does your head in because of the inaccuracies, there is an alternative, but it's called the Diamond Select Thanos. So here we have the Diamond Select armored Thanos, and as you can see, he doesn't have any gauntlets on. It's just an armored Thanos, which I really like. So I actually have this in my Marvel Legends display, and yes, it's a little bit bigger than the Marvel Legends Builder-Figures. However, it does still fit in the display, and it looks really nice with the Black Order as well. So you have options out there, people. Lots of different Thanos figures to take your pick from the MCU. Now, a few minutes ago, I called Thanos the main event because, well, it's Thanos. However, when it comes to this box set, I do believe for a lot of people, including myself, Cull Obsidian is the main event, as he is going to have the most differences compared to his previous release, as his original concept design changed drastically to what we've seen in the movie. So if I bring in his original Marvel Legends Builder-Figure, you can see, you can tell that they're the same character, or at least part of the same family, but their outfits are completely different. So let me just get them standing like that. You can even see the weapons are completely different. So yeah, Cull Obsidian, out of all of the members of the Dark Order, or the Black Order, definitely needed the update the most, and I'm very grateful for it. So let's zoom in on this guy and see all the differences compared to this one. Okay, first let's do the weapon. This thing is very heavy, but a lot more movie accurate. It's more of this axe shape. And if you zoom in, I don't know how well you can see it under my lights, but all those sculpted details are actually there on the figure. So maybe some paintwork or some dry brushing will really bring out some of these details, because this is very nice. A lot of detail of sculpted work is there, much more accurate to the hammer that we got. So this is the hammer that we got with the previous Builder figure, and this is, it looks like a Minecraft hammer now I look at it compared to the other one, but it worked fine, but it just wasn't accurate at all. So this one is much better. So there's your difference in weaponry. Pick your poison, but yeah, that one loses out, I'm afraid. This one is much nicer, heavier, thicker, bigger, more intimidating, and yeah, this is really nice. So let's start at the top, of course, and let's look at the head sculpt. So the head is the same, but the deco makes all the difference. You can see the tusks are better painted, the tones of the face are different, yeah, much nicer. If I bring the previous one back in just for a second, you can see how it's a lot darker, a lot dirtier. This one now has more characteristics in it. It looks more like what we've seen in the film, so that looks very nice. His armor is much different. Beforehand he had sort of a bare chest, now he's got this whole armor piece on. Maybe it's an overlay compared to the previous figure, I don't know, but still it's a lot nicer, much more accurate. This piece is a separate piece to sort of suggest it's sort of a harness that attaches to the shoulder. However, it doesn't attach to the shoulder, it doesn't hinder the articulation at all there. The shoulder pad sort of just hangs over, so it looks like it's attached, which is nice. It gives the effect, but again, it doesn't affect the articulation. It's not attached, so that's nice. And so let me just zoom out a little bit more so you can see a lot of the colours on here now. It pops a little bit more, bit of gold, bit of red sort of under the armour, and then even a bit of blue down here on this. It sort of looks like he battled Captain Marvel. A lot of people were speculating that when we first seen him in the trailer, but yeah, blues, reds, golds, very nice. And you can see now he's wearing trousers, like armoured trousers if you will, or pants if you're American, but still looks very good. And again, if I bring in the previous one, you'll see what I mean. This guy had no trousers on at all, it's all just skin. And again, he looks like a lot more militant now, doesn't he? A lot more. The previous design was a bit more thuggish. They definitely look, both can look good on your shelf. This could be your comic Cull Obsidian if you want, Black Dwarf. But yeah, this is definitely our MCU one, and this looks much nicer. So it's going to be hard to do a comparison of these guys because they're so big, but I'll try side by side. So obviously the arm is where all the difference is. The head sculpt's the same though, and the rest of the body does seem like it's the same sculpt, just slightly different. The legs are obviously different as well now. So yeah, maybe they've spent most of the money on updating Cull, but he needed it the most, let's be honest. So there's the skin arm. That arm seems exactly the same. Spinning round, you can see he's sort of got this forearm material piece there where he hasn't on this new one. And the shoulder piece is different as well. But yeah, much nicer, this guy. If you've seen the film, you can tell straight away which one is movie accurate. But this guy definitely looks like a relative, at least. But I do think people can use this guy as their comic version if they wanted to. But still, maybe you can just have two big bag brutes on the shelf. But yeah, this guy, let's be honest, this guy's the main event. And let me get his hand. Where's his weapon gone? So he will hold his weapon nice and tight. It's quite thick. But he will grip it very nicely. So now you can get him battling Iron Man, Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, holding his weapon. But he's such a big figure. He looks great just standing there looking menacing. So no complaints from me. Cull Obsidian looks great. Probably the best update in the wave. Well, not probably. It is the best update in the wave. And very happy they did this. A lot of people are going to be buying this set just to get their hands on this guy. Let's continue our game of Spot the Difference and move on to Ebony Maw. Now, when I first seen the promo images of this one, I thought this guy had no changes at all. But now I've got him in person, there are definitely changes. The head sculpt is so much more accurate and different with his hair and whatnot. And the colours and the tones of the deco of the figure are a lot darker and again more accurate. So that's probably the thing you're going to notice the most, is this new one is a lot darker in comparison to the previous Ebony Maw. But it's the head sculpt which has all the differences. So I don't know how well you can see it from that distance, but I'm definitely going to zoom in and show you anyway. So in regards to sculpt work, it's the same figure, same hand, same body, same sculpt. So from the head down, it is all paint, all deco that is changed, and it's darker on the new one. But the head is where the difference is, and again, it makes a difference. So let's check that out. So here's our closer look at Squidward, and look at that. There's his hair now. He's actually got hair on the back of his head sculpted on there, which is accurate to the film. It sort of starts at the back there. His hairline is nearly as bad as mine. But yeah, that is Ebony Maw with his sort of squid face. And if I bring in the previous version, if he comes in from the back there, you can see, I don't know how well it will show you, but the colours are different. But the front of the face seems the same. It's just the sort of, I don't know, it's like the new one has the digital face in. I don't know if it will focus for me there. So there's the old, there's the new. And if we try and put them together, spin them around, side profile. So there's your side profile. Hair is so much more better on the new one. And again, on the back, yeah, I don't know what happened to his hair on the previous one. Again, concept art, it changes. But side profile is where you're going to see the difference. But I think the front of the face is virtually the same. He's a very ugly guy, let's be honest. He's probably a single alien. But yeah, there's your differences. But from the body onwards, if we have our work our way, you can see it's the same sculpt, same mold, same pattern. It is just the colours which are different. So articulation and everything else is going to be the same. And if you want to see my full review of him already, click the icon in the corner. Moving on to Proxima Midnight, she was another one where I didn't really see the big differences at first, apart from getting rid of the gold. But now I have them in person, the head sculpt's a little bit different, and obviously the deco's different. She's got the weapons more accurate. So yeah, there are definitely differences there. So there's your side on of Proxima Midnight, but let's get a closer look and see all the deco and the face changes. So there's a closer look at the new head sculpt for Proxima Midnight, and I do think the hair is the same, but it's the front of the face which the difference is, and it's got the new digital face printing as well. It's subtle, but it's definitely there, and again, it makes a difference. If I bring the previous one in, you'll see what I mean. So this one's a little bit more comic-y, which is good, because now you could use this as your comic one, even though the comic one has a bit more of a flamboyant hair or head sort of sculpt, if you will. You could still definitely find a use for this, but this new one is definitely more accurate out of the two. You can see the white skin with the eyes there a little bit, where this one, she's got the sort of blue skin and the red eyes and the red sort of dots on her head, where she doesn't really have that in the film. But I do think the hair is the same. So there's your side on. Again, even the horns on the side are different, but the hair seems like it's the same sculpt. There's your second side profile. So yeah, the new one, much more movie accurate. The tones, just the look, overall look. So let me zoom out a little bit and we'll go over the body. So the arms, obviously gold on the previous release, the new one more silver,
Again, more movie accurate. And then the old one has sort of white armor, where this one's more toned down, a bit more bluish grey, if you will. So again, the tone of the uniform is different, but it's the same sculpt. Move around, you can see gold there, no gold there. And again, moving down to the feet, she's got gold there, and then no gold there, just silver. So a lot more subtle on the actual film version, which is what it was in the film. So yeah, toned down, but nicer. So there is your differences there. Now her weapon, let's bring that in real quick. It's the same sculpt as well. This one's a bit warped, isn't it, the gold one? It probably won't focus for me, but yeah, it's the same sculpt all the way down. Just the new one is now silver, previous is gold, and this new one has a bit of blue tint there on the side. So yeah, same weapon, same sculpt, just colours difference, and as I said, my gold one's all warped anyway. But now Proxima Midnight also comes with a sword. I can't remember if the previous one comes with a sword. I don't think it did, but she does use a sword in the film, and so she'll hold them both, but only the one grip in hand, so she can't hold both weapons. So if you want Proxima Midnight holding a sword, then there is your option as well. So you have the sword or this sort of javelin, if you will, but still, there's your differences. So pick your poison, no wrong answer, but the new one is a much more movie accurate. Move the other one to build a comic display maybe, but maybe get a new head sculpt. I don't know. Moving on to Proxima Midnight's boyfriend, we have Corvus Glaive. Now, I do think this figure has the least amount of changes. That's why I've saved him for last. I do think the differences are all in the deco. I don't think there's any sculpt work, which makes sense as Corvus Glaive came out in that 2-pack with Loki way after Infinity War. So they had a lot more time to get him more movie accurate. So out of them all, this guy needed the least changes, if any at all. So on this new release, they've just made him a lot darker, but the head sculpt is the same, the body's the same, even the weapon's the same. It's just got a little bit of tonal differences. So I don't know how well you can tell from the side profile and whatnot, but let's zoom in and take a closer look anyway. But I do think it's just darker. So there's your closer look, and he is a villainous looking character, isn't he? It's a very nice figure for such a unique villain, and yeah, no complaints from me. This guy is very, very nice. So it's the same sculpt as before, just darker tones. And if I bring in the previous one, let me just zoom out a little bit and you'll see what I mean. They are the same, exactly the same. Just this guy, his face is like a little bit more purple compared to this one. It's a bit more bluish grey, and then obviously the actual figure is darker with the gold highlights, where this one's a bit more grey, and there's a more gold. There's like more gold on this one compared to this one. So yeah, the gold is definitely more subtle on this guy, so the darkness shines a little bit brighter under those lights. But yeah, you may actually prefer the previous version as your Corvus Glaive in your shelf. I don't think it would be wrong. You could definitely mix this guy in with the new figures, and it would still be a very accurate Black Order. But I do think I will stick with the updated, darker toned version. But this guy, again, I've done a full review of this guy already with the Loki box set, so go and check out my review for that if you want to see it in more detail. But it is the same figure. It's just working our way all the way down. You can see it's just darker with the gold. It's less gold and darker. Like you can even see there on the sort of skirt piece. The gold brush, the sort of dry brush is there, but there's so much more gold on this version. I'm spinning around real quick. And again, you can see it more on the back there. A lot more gold, but it's the same sculpt, same pattern. So yeah, I keep saying it, but it's true. Darker, less gold. Lighter, more gold. But it's the same figure, same sculpt, same everything. Let's look at the weapons. Weapons are the same. Zoom out, you can't even see. This is the new weapon. That's the previous weapon. Again, you can hardly tell the difference. The naked eye probably wouldn't even be able to know if I line them up there together. Just the golds are virtually the same. It's just the staffs are a little bit different in tone. Bit darker grey, lighter grey. But yeah, virtually the same. So definitely the less differences with Corvus Glaive. So my table's not quite big enough, but here we have the new Black Order compared to the previous Black Order. And as I said, the old version were very nice. They were really good. However, the new ones are much more movie accurate. And even with Thanos, these make for a great display. So again, I will find room in my collection for both of them, whether it's the Infinity War shelf or the Endgame shelf, however I want to do it, I will find room from both. But these new ones are definitely an upgrade.
So there we have it, final thoughts. I don't really know how to wrap up this video without repeating myself again, but bottom line is these are more movie accurate versions. If you want the most accurate versions, the most accurate representation of these characters from the MCU, then you need this box set. And trust me, you won't be disappointed. But as always, you let me know, is it frustrating that you had to buy them again? Do you like that we've got the option, but you like the versions you've already got? I'm always curious to hear your thoughts. I know a lot of people will just bitch at Hasbro, but let's be honest, it's not Hasbro's fault. They work with what they've got, and if Marvel decide to change the concept design before the film gets released, what can Hasbro do? At least now they have rectified that and give you the option to get yourself some upgrades. Yes, it's an expensive box set, but it's worth it if you ask me, because trying to track these figures down yourself would be difficult anyway, as you get two builder figures. There's a figure that only came in a 2-pack, and then two hard to find figures anyway. So I genuinely think this is worth the hassle, just getting all these figures, a whole team, MCU villains team in a nice rounded up box set. What's there to complain about? I'm sure someone will find something, but I am very happy for the upgrades and happy for the box set. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But as always, you want to see individual reviews for all of these figures and their previous versions, check out the videos tab, the playlists, and the eye in the corner of the screen. But most importantly, you want to help the channel grow, then you do that by, please, hitting that subscribe button. Much appreciated. And as always, you are in a position to support the channel, then you can do that on Patreon. Thank you very much. And as always, people, my name is Dan W. I apologize if this video is too long, but I'm just happy to have some MCU figures this year. 2020's been a weird one, but I shall see you on the next one.